Welcome to I'm Done, What's Next? A webinar where I will share with you some of the things that I have learned over the past 2 years as I have begun to live a more meaningful, magnificent life, something that's far better than I ever could have imagined in my life after 50. First, I want to just acknowledge the group that we have here. Thank you for joining me. We have women from all over the world, from East Coast to West in the United States, Canada, Australia, Jamaica, Mongolia, Dubai, Denmark. So really, this is an international group of women, and what that shows me is that we are all the same. It doesn't really matter where we live. Women want the same things in life. We want to age with grace and vitality. We want to live with more meaning as we reach midlife. And we really just want connections. We want support and good relationships, people who will support us in our journey along the way. So I'm really excited that you're here, and I'm going to try to pack as much as I can into our time together. We reach a point in our lives where we have lived fully. We've been devoting our lives to others, and it's time for that transformation. I'm done. I'm done with the past. I'm done with all those things that are holding me back. I want to know what's next, and then after I decide what's next, it's time to kick butt, right? So let's get ready for this webinar, and I'm going to try to just pour everything out to you during our time. This webinar is for you if you're an empty nester and you just are wondering, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? I know exactly how you feel. Being in that position is what launched me on my transformational journey. So I know where you are. You may just be feeling like you're stuck in a rut. Maybe you've been in the same job for 30 or 20 years and you just are ready to make a change. You're burned out, but you just don't know what to do with yourself. Maybe you're just you just don't feel like you have an identity. You've been living behind this mask for so long, and you feel like, I don't even know who I am, and everyone else in the world, they've been kind of directing my life for all these years, and now I want to really determine my own identity. Or maybe you love who you are. Maybe you've already transformed your life and, reinvented yourself. But you've got so much to do. There's a lot of chaos around, and you're just trying to sort it all out, and you want to really be able to go with clarity, knowing what it is that you want to do. Let's pick a few things. Let's not try to do it all, because you have the luxury now of designing your own life now that you have reached this point. So, this is what we're going to be here today to, all these different places in our life. We're really all at the same crossroads, and I'm going to help you through that. So you might be wondering, okay, what qualifies her to teach me these things? She's not a self-help guru. She's not a famous author. She's, not been out there on the speaking circuit. I haven't seen her on TV. You're right. I'm not, those people. I'm just me. But I've read a lot, I've studied a lot, and I've gleaned the best parts from all these programs. Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Rick Warren, Stephen Covey, all these wonderful programs that people have out there. But you know what? They're all written by men. And so what I'm hoping to bring to you, what I'm planning to bring to you, is a different perspective, and really one from a woman's point of view, because I've been there and I know how you feel, and I know the frustration that you can feel in midlife when you just don't know what to do next. So that's, I've reinvented myself, I've taken myself on a journey, and I want to share those things with you now. So let me just tell you a little bit about my own story. Just a few years ago, about 3 years ago, I can still remember the day when it really hit me, and I had this sick feeling in my stomach. I was sitting here at my computer looking for a job. I was an over 50 empty nester. My children were gone, and no longer was I a mother. That was not my role. I had just resigned from a position on a school board. I had been doing that for 9 years, serving as president for 4, so I was not a school board member or president anymore. My mother had lived close by for 10 years, and she had recently passed away, so I wasn't a caregiver either. So who was I, and what was I going to do with the rest of my life? And I was just sick at the thought of going back into the workforce because I didn't know how to do it. And I thought, how can I compete? Who's going to even look at a resume when all I can really put on it is rich life experiences? I had been home with my children for 25 years and loved that role, would not have traded it for anything. But now I was ready for something more, just an extension. Let's create something with true meaning at this point in my life. So I got out of my comfort zone, started getting out and really trying to find somebody. I thought, okay, I'll get out and start going to some networking events, and I'll find someone who likes me and they'll want to hire me. And what I found instead was a community of women who were so excited about life. They were doing their own thing. They had perhaps left the corporate world and had started their own businesses. They had reinvented themselves in midlife. Some of them were empty nesters like me and were already, doing something that they love to do. So I decided, okay, that's what I want. That's what I want for myself as well. I want to feel that same joy. I want to make a difference in the world, and I want to really leave behind something that is beyond just my family and the community work that I've done up until this point. A friend of mine had suggested I start blogging about my journey, and she said, I'm sure that there are other women out there who can identify with what you're going through. This is not uncommon what you're feeling. So I started a simple blog, and I started getting comments from women I didn't know. The first one I had was from someone in Washington State. She was training for her first marathon at age 60. And then I was contacted by a sweet woman who lived on the East Coast who was recovering from breast cancer. And I thought, oh, there's something to this. Women are just like me, and they're searching for information. They're searching for relationships and support. So on February 1st, February 1st, 2010, after I had spent several months letting my creativity fly and just really trusting my instinct, I launched FlourishOver50.com, and that just became my life, and just was an amazing journey. And through that, I have connected with women all over the world and have been so blessed to be a connector. Really bringing in now after some time, bringing in some experts to help me out, and now creating programs for women to really help them flourish inside and out. So what I have learned, through all this is that it is okay, in midlife to live the life that you want to live and to not be afraid. I was truly afraid at that one point, at that one major crossroads time, and I was so afraid with taking that next step. And when I got over that and didn't let that hold me back, an entire world opened up to me. And today I'm just loving what I'm doing, and I'm so excited to be here with you doing this webinar because I want you to have the same thing. I want you to feel the same excitement and joy and, just really this transformation in midlife. And you don't have to be over 50. Really it's any time, in midlife when you're ready you feel a shift. A lot of it's brought on by maybe you're suddenly single, or it's menopause, or the empty nest, all these things that cause you to just step back and go, okay, there's something more. I want something more out of life. So what I'm going to do is spend the next minutes with you, up to an hour maybe, and really just lay it all out. I want to give you everything I can to help you start your own journey. Just by your being here as part of this webinar, you're really showing the world that you're ready to make a big step. That's a powerful statement for you to do, and so you're here with me, you're here with all these women from around the world, and you're saying, okay, I'm at this crossroads and I'm ready to make a change, and I need to know which direction to go. So today I'm going to show you on how you can really begin your own journey and how you can really design the plan that you want for yourself to really lead that more meaningful life. So here's the specific plan. First, I'm going to really give you some steps to let go. Say I'm done to feeling insignificant and invisible. I'm finished with putting myself last, and I'm ready to put myself on the top of my to-do list and really create something for myself that is, really something that I'm passionate about, something that brings me joy. We're going to walk through the things that really tend to suffocate us, to really suck the life out of us, like, perfectionism, fear, and really, putting ourselves at the bottom of our list and not taking care of ourselves well. When you say no more to the things that suck the life right out of you, then you can open up your life, and it's just amazing what you'll find. But first you have to really step out there and be bold and say, I'm no more. I'm not going to do this anymore. So after we go through, I'm done with some of the things that I hope that, will really make a profound impact on you. Then I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself to discover what's next for you in life. These are the main points from the Powerful Me program that I wrote that's based on my own transformation. And it's really my way of helping women around the world go forward with confidence and clarity. The secret to living a more joyful, fulfilling life is knowing what your purpose is and living on purpose. And that was a concept that I had never heard before until I really started my own journey here. And so it's so important to get clear on what you want to do for the rest of your life and what you don't want to do for the rest of your life. It's okay to say no. And we're going to talk about that. No is a very powerful word, and it can be a complete sentence. And you don't have to feel guilty about saying no when you're living on purpose, because you're living in accordance with your own desires and values, and everything will come together, and you'll have the confidence that you need to say no. And finally, we'll work together, and I'll show you some ways that you can bring all these things together to really go forward to accelerate your transformation, on this journey. Doesn't really matter what life stage you're in or how old you are. Again, it's just really, this is really key information for women, especially as we, try to let go of being manager of the universe and accept the fact that we are valuable, we are worthy, and that, we were created to be amazing women. And I want you to embrace the woman that you are and celebrate the woman that you will become after you go through these steps. So I'm going to switch over to share my screen with you, and let's get started. I'm done. What's next? These will be some powerful tools to help you say, I'm done to the things that are holding me back and sucking the life right out of me. And, what's next for me? I'm at a crossroads. I'm ready to go, and so I need to know what's next. But first, we need to do something that's really hard for a lot of women. You need to give yourself permission to make a change in your life. This is really hard for a lot of women because we've been conditioned to believe that we must put the needs of others first and that we can't follow our own dreams because that's selfish. We grew up watching our mothers live these rather ho-hum lives after 50, thinking that that's what was going to happen to us and that 50 was so old. But now we are over 50, or approaching 50, and that could not be further from the truth. You really don't have to ask for someone's permission to live with more passion and purpose. You've worked hard, you've lived unselfishly, and put your own dreams on the back burner for years. But if you still need to be granted that freedom to say, I'm done, then right now I'm giving you official permission to become that woman you want to be. You don't have to feel guilty. And I've given you a permission slip to use. So, if you need a little help, if you're not really sure, then print that permission slip out and say, I'm done. I hereby give myself permission to, and it could be something as small as get a pedicure. How often do we feel guilty because we want to pamper ourselves a little bit? Or maybe it's something really big, like I give myself permission to quit this job that's draining my energy. There's so many things that you need to step forward and do. So if you need permission, then right now I'm giving you permission, and here is your permission slip to move ahead. So once you've granted yourself permission to move ahead, the first thing you need to do is say, I'm done living in the past. I love this quote, don't look back, you're not going that way. No, you've lived a really rich life, and everything you've done has brought you to this crossroads. But don't look back. That's the past. Are there things from the past that are weighing you down like an anchor? Is it time to let go? Is it time to release the past, but you just can't? It's not always easy. You can't just say, I'm finished, and it's over. Sometimes it's very painful. The midlife crisis doesn't just go away on its own, and there's a lot of pain. There's maybe some relationship things you need to deal with, some incompletions in your life. And it always helps to have a certain amount of ritual. There's an emotional breakup that needs to be going on here, and you need to have a symbolic release of the past to allow the pain, to allow the emotions to exit your body and mind, and then so you can really move forward. There's several letting go ceremonies that I have done over the past couple of years, and I wanted to share them with you because they've really helped me a lot. The first one is praying. I am very spiritual in nature. My faith is very important to me. So I begin by praying and asking God, help me get rid of whatever this is that's such a burden that's really eating away at me. It's so important to have that spiritual cleansing and, just really let go and, ask for that peace, ask for the wisdom to know, the right choices to make. A wonderful ritual is to go to the art. Again, cast aside that self-doubter, that self-critic, that one that says that you can't do something, and let your creative juices flow. About a year ago, I was in a retreat, and it was a time of deep self-discovery, really spiritual time for so many of us. And one thing that was always available was a room full of art supplies. Everything from pastel chalks to watercolors to acrylics. And it was amazing, what would come out during that week. People would have reds and blacks for anger, and then these beautiful soft colors, for their transformation. You'd see blacks and whites, and some of the art was very angular and angry, and some of it was very peaceful. So, I was amazed at what came out of my own hand throughout that week. And I had this white bird that was a part of my journaling all week. I never had this bird before, but she took on different forms through that week, and through my art, she came to life. And so take out the journal and the art, the colors, anything, even crayons or markers, anything that you have, and just allow the emotion to flow through your hand and onto that piece of paper, and just see how healing it is. Another great ritual is the rock. Write your obstacle on a rock. Use a Sharpie, or, just kind of etch it in there. Write the thing that's really bothering you. If it's a relationship, if it's some sort of anger or guilt, write it on that rock, and then look at it and say, okay, I'm done. I'm finished with you, and you will be in my life no more. And then go up to the top of a mountain or to a lake and throw it as far as you can. And, sometimes just that physical nature of that will help as well. So get rid of that thing and, throw it away as far as you can on a rock. Another exercise is burning it up. Perhaps you need to write a letter to a person or to something. Maybe if you journal on a regular basis, you could journal about this. But write it on a piece of paper and then go to a safe place and burn it. And just picture yourself rising out of those ashes like a phoenix. Emerge as a new woman, more beautiful and stronger than ever. Burn it up. So once you've, said I'm done to all the things living in the past, then be done with putting yourself last. One of the things I've struggled with is really putting myself on the top of my to-do list in this midlife transformation. I've always been the caregiver, the nurturer, and most women are. We volunteer for everything. We take care of our children, our families, and some of us are even taking care of our parents now. So, we feel guilty about doing something that nurtures our own bodies and our own spirits. But what I've learned over the past couple of years is that taking care of myself must be at the top of my list. Focusing on the things that are good for me give me energy and patience. And then they make me a much more interesting person to be around. In fact, when taking my own self-guided journey, the process that I later called Powerful Me, I made my overall wellness my top priority, and I have it written here for you. Really, my top priority is to focus on my overall wellness, for it is through peak performance of my mind, body, and spirit that I will achieve success in every area of my life. So please put yourself on the top of your to-do list. One of my favorite sayings is, fill your own cup first, then take care of everyone else with what flows over to the saucer. So I've given you another handout here, and I'd like for you just to spend a little time thinking, if someone came to you and said, you can have the next week entirely to yourself, no commitments. Do anything you want to that will restore you, that will revitalize your body, that will give you energy, that will, really nourish your mind and your spirit. What are the things you'd do? Would you sleep and, take a walk, go hiking, swimming? Would you, get out some artwork yourself and paint? Do you write? What are the things that just, when you finish those things, you think, oh my gosh, I feel so refreshed now. I feel so much better. Write those things down in that teacup right there. And then make a commitment to yourself, a wow commitment. A wow is within 1 week. What is one thing in that teacup that you will do for yourself within the next week? Commit to doing at least one thing in that teacup every week for yourself. Something special that really helps you fill your cup to overflowing. And know that, the more you do for yourself, the more will flow out of your cup. You will have this abundance of energy and vitality and joy. And then you can give to others from what flows over. Give to them the excess. You cannot give away what you don't have. So be sure that you fill your own cup first, and then give away what flows over into the saucer. The next I'm done is a tough one for most of us. I'm done with perfectionism. Quite often somebody gives me the compliment, I admire you so much. You just really have it all together. And I want you to know that I don't. It's not as easy as it looks. What you see on the outside of me is really the result of a lot of hard work and really realizing that I don't have to be the driven perfectionist that I used to be. It's really liberating to know that all I have to do is my best and everyone will still love me. I don't have to be perfect. Just do my best. Embrace the knowledge that perfect is the enemy of great. If you wait around until you have something in perfect shape, you may never get it out to the people who need it most. I now know that it's so much more important to be real, imperfect, and meaningful than to compare myself to other websites that have investment capital and support staffs behind them. So all I have to do is be me, and people love me just the same. Embrace do-overs. When you make a mistake, admit it and try again. It's okay. Again, no one expects you to have something very, very perfect, and the world won't end over, a misstep that you make. Don't push yourself. I've been overworked and overwhelmed on many occasions, and I know that that is not good for me. Who else but you will know that you're behind schedule? Who else but you will know that, you were supposed to get something done, you had your own deadline set, and maybe it didn't happen. But lighten up on yourself. Be easy on you and know that good is good enough and that people will love you no matter what. Be proud of who you are and who you're becoming. I am 55 years old. I have no background in what I'm doing right now. I've just figured it out. And I really have to acknowledge that what I've done is extraordinary. It's very difficult for me to say that, but I dig in, I learn what I have to learn, and believe me, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. But I know that, what I have out here is something that's so important for women that if I had still been waiting around to make it perfect, I wouldn't be here with you now. So just remember, good is good enough. Perfect is the enemy of great. The next I'm done with fear. What's holding you back? Fear can paralyze us. But really, how many of your fears are real? How many of your fears are you imagining? Fear can be one of the biggest energy vampires that we have, and it can just drain the excitement right out of us. So here are some questions that you can ask yourself when you feel like you're gripped by fear. What's the worst thing that can happen? If you fall down, how long will it take to recover? Will it really matter a year from now? I like to think about that in the big picture. How important really is this? Is a small failed attempt just a blip on the screen when you look back at your life 5 years from now? Instead of imagining the worst outcome, visualize the best. Think about the best things that can happen. When you feel so afraid that you can't move forward, make a list of the times that you have actually overcome your fears and what happened as a result of that. And how did you feel? Relive the self-confidence that you felt. Reclaim that power and the inner strength that comes from being the conqueror that you were then. Use your fear as a strategy for change. Make a list of your fears and then look at them and say, okay, is this just something that I need to have a plan for? Is it really something that I can't overcome? Are there some steps that I can take to conquer this fear? So, break it down into small steps so you can take action. And every time you take a step and you have success, then you'll feel more powerful and just really become able to conquer that fear. And then think about the cost of not taking action because of your fears. What will happen if you let your fears win? What will you miss out on? If you, just don't do something because you're afraid, what's gonna be the result? You're gonna miss out on so many things. What would have happened if Leonardo da Vinci or Thomas Edison or Steve Jobs had been too afraid to take risks? Just think of all the great people that have gone before us if they had let their fears get in control of their lives. Thanks to Josephine Cochrane, who she was a woman in the 1880s, and thanks to her we have the dishwasher. So think about her. What if she had been so afraid as a woman to step out and claim her creativity and her idea? What if she had not done that? She did it, and she did it well, and we have a lot to thank her for. And the last question is, what would I do if I knew I could not fail? Take a moment to, get a lot of paper out and, just go for this. Put your reasoning self, your doubter, lock her in a closet. Don't let her sabotage this part. And think about, gosh, if I knew that money is not an obstacle, I'm not too old, I'm not, it's not too late. Everything I have, I need. I have all the skills I need. I have all the support I need. I have all the time in the world. what would I be doing? You know, how would I live my life if I knew that there was no way that I could fail? That is a really powerful thing to do, and spend some time with that, and then go back periodically and boost your self-confidence by reading that. And the final step in I'm done is I'm done with loneliness and bucket dippers. You know, there are people in our lives who we love to be around, and there are people in our lives who we dread being around. You know, are there people in your life that, you know, given the chance to choose all over again, you probably wouldn't pick them? Maybe you've, had some friends a long time ago, and for whatever stage of life you were in, they were part of your circle, but now you realize you don't really have anything in common with them. Or maybe you've got some family drama going on, and every time you're around certain people, you just can't stand it, and you can't wait to get away from them. There's a wonderful book called How Full Is Your Bucket? And the author challenges us to consider who fills our bucket every day and who dips from it. So I've given you a handout to really make a list of your friends and your family members, and note beside each one, do they fill your bucket? Do they really add to the joy in your life? Do they give you energy? Do they support you? Do they give you ideas, and do they really build you up? Or do they dip from your bucket? Do they drain you? Do they dip the joy right out of your life? You know, you may have some people that really don't do either. You're not around them very often, but you still want to keep in touch with them, and that's okay. You can still keep them. Those are the levelers. And, perhaps you just exchange holiday cards with them, Christmas cards or birthday cards, and that's okay. But, if you have to go back and get that permission slip, do it and say, I am done with the bucket dippers in my life. I don't need to allow these people to continue draining me. They're holding me back from the person I want to be. So it's time to move on. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded. The women in your life, surround yourself with those women who you want to be like and who really feed you and energize you. Those are the kind of people you want to be with. And I've read that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with most. So choose wisely. Know that you need to have a power circle around you of people who can really be, the kind of people that you want to be, that you have around you in your life. So get rid of the loneliness. That you don't have to be, lonely in midlife either. Find people who you love to be around, and then make a point to see them regularly. So I'm done living in the past. Don't look back. You're not going that way. I'm done with putting myself last. I'm not going to be at the bottom of my to-do list anymore. I'm done with perfectionism. Good is good enough. I don't have to be perfect. The world needs what I have right now, and I don't have to have it in perfect form. I'm done with fear. I'm not going to allow fear to paralyze me anymore. And I'm done with loneliness and bucket dippers. I'm not going to surround myself with people who drain my energy and joy. I'm going to find people who fill my bucket, who fill my cup every day. So once we have done all these steps, it's time to say, what's next? What's next for me? You don't need to worry about how. It's just important to know what you want to do. What can you see yourself doing out in the future? Don't worry about how you're going to get there. It took me about a year into my reinvention journey to really understand all this, to focus on how important it is to know my purpose. And I didn't know anything about that until I started this journey. It took me, a time of really coming to a place where I had to stop and decide, if I was even on the right journey. And this was even into my reinvention journey. as I mentioned earlier, I launched flourishover50.com as a woman over 50 who was really experiencing the empty nest, and I was searching for new meaning for my existence. I really I was just driven that first year with that. I worked all the time, morning and noon and night. During the day, I would sit here at my computer, and in the evening, I would sit, instead of with my husband enjoying our newfound empty nest status, I would sit with my computer, with my laptop in my lap, in the living room, and we would both be sitting there working on our computers, and that was really the wrong way to live. My focus was, so narrow, and I was exhausted after the end of that first year. And so I took a step back and said, okay, is this what my legacy is going to be? When I'm 80 years old, am I going to be known as a website designer? Is that what I'm going to have behind me? Or am I going to wish that I had done more with my life? So I began reading and researching, how to be truly successful, how to know what you're supposed to be doing. And I really understood for the first time that I needed a life purpose statement, and I needed a clear set of goals for myself to know what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. It was really up to me to map out my action plan, staying true to my own values and embracing the gifts that I had been given, the unique qualities that I had. I took some time to really dig deep and went through all these questions that I had given you, and really my self-discovery revealed that I already had everything I needed inside of me, that I'm capable of so much more than I had envisioned doing, that my God-given gifts are meant to be shared, that I needed to get out from behind the computer and do more with my life. So I mapped it out, and the picture that was before me really took my breath away. It was so exciting and so much bigger than I had ever thought. Really had, limited my own potential with my limiting beliefs. And so, when I allowed myself to get out from behind this computer and to think bigger, it was really amazing, what was able to transpire in my life. So the first thing that, you really need to do is sit down and take the handout that I've given you, how to know what's next in your life, and spend some time away with these questions. Allow yourself to really be creative. Again, don't let that reasoning part of yourself sabotage these answers. Make her go away. And don't limit yourself. What are the things that bring you joy? You need to know what you want to do in life, what you truly enjoy doing. You can do that. You can make those choices right now in your life. It's time. So what are the things that really light your fire? And what are those gifts that you have? What are the things that that are unique to you? The things that you enjoy doing? Do you like to organize? Do you like to lead groups? Do you like to teach? Do you have the gift of hospitality, of service? All of us have such unique gifts, and we need to identify those things. If you have trouble, this is a wonderful exercise that, when I'm working with women personally, it seems a little scary at first, but it always turns out to be one of the favorite activities of women. And I ask you to send an email to 10 to 15 of your friends and family members, friends from different areas of your life, women you've known for a long, long time, and maybe some people that you are, new friends of yours. People from your workplace, if you have that, where you volunteer, from your church, from your PTA, and ask them, when you hear my name, what are the first things that come to your mind? I love this exercise because it's often so revealing to women. A lot of times we don't acknowledge the things about ourselves that we should, and other people see them before we do. So when you get these answers back, you'll notice that so many of them are consistent. They will either affirm the woman that you want to be and the qualities that you're trying to embody, or they may point out to you some new things that you hadn't considered before. So try that exercise and really use that as a vital part of this as you're determining the what's next part in your life. What do you like to do? What are the things that you do that make you feel really good about yourself? We're taught not to boast about things, not to brag, that's ugly, that's not ladylike. And, that's so wrong, because we need to feel good about ourselves. We need to pat ourselves on the back when we've accomplished something great and allow others to celebrate with us. So have you accomplished something great, with the committee you've done? Have you led a group? Have you taught your children? All of us who have raised children have some things to be proud about there. There's so many things that we don't acknowledge. So write the things down that make you feel good about yourself and reflect on those often. What are some things you've always dreamed of doing but you've put on the back burner? I'm guessing that you've got some things that you've said, okay, someday when the kids are gone, I'm going to do this. Or someday when I have more time or more money, this is what I'd love to do. So what are those things? What are some action words you most identify with? Again, is it teach, paint, travel, swim, serve, organize? What are the action words you most identify with? And the next question is one of the most important. What do you not want to do in the future? You can have a choice right now to say, I am not going to do that. And you can just, say no. So write those things down. And then there's that question again. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? So keep that with you. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? And, feel the power in that. I love hearing back from women who've answered these questions in the Powerful Me program. The transformation that occurs from putting themselves at the top of the to-do list is amazing. And when they really tap into their own gifts and passions and start living in line with their own life purpose, it's amazing. New women are born right before my eyes. There was one woman who attended a workshop that I had, and she had been a photographer for 30 years. She was so tired of what she was doing, and it just didn't bring her joy anymore. So she wanted to do something new, something that would reignite her passion for life, but she had no idea, and she was really despondent, really to tears. So after spending some time in self-discovery, she really got in touch with her love for ministering to young married couples. And then she remembered that she had been writing down these little golden nuggets throughout her own long and happy marriage. And she'd been writing down these little things about her marriage and filing them away in this special folder. And she remembered that folder. And then she thought, okay, I can take these two things together and I can write a book. She could vividly see this book in her mind and what her illustrations would be. And now she's working on that book. And not only does she have that book planned out, but she has an entire series. And she is, every time I see her, she is just on fire. And I'm so excited for her. There was another woman who was, like me, she was struggling to find her identity after her children had left home and gone to college. She had no idea where to begin. She had been home, doing all these things and had not been in the workplace for a while. But she started making a list of the things that she had been doing over these years and really, got excited because she realized she could bring all these things together and start her own business as a virtual assistant. So she used the life skills that she had had all these years and, brought them together as in a new business for herself. And, there are women that I meet that are starting retail businesses. They are going back to doing, they always wanted to be a hairstylist and suppress that. And, I have a friend who is doing that later in life. So there's no limit to what you can do if you just allow yourself to dream big. Dream big, step out on faith, and really make some positive change in your life. So, for some of you, what I've given you here is really all you need to make your own plan for your transformation journey. You can say no more to things that are dragging you down. And you can take these questions and you can answer them and run with them. But I want to give you the most important step you need to ensure your success, whether you do this by yourself or you do it with me as your guide. The single most important thing is to get an accountability partner. And there I am with my accountability partner on our journey. You need someone who will look you in the eyes and say, you can do this, when you're fearful, when you are nervous about taking that step. It is so important to have at least one person in your life who will act as your trusted advisor, your encourager, and your taskmaster. You know, we need somebody to keep you on track and to call you, once a week and say, okay, give me your report. When you need a little push, when you're procrastinating, that partner can get you back on track. And when you're, off track trying to do so much for everyone else, forgetting to, put yourself on the top of your to-do list, this accountability partner can lovingly bring you back and focus. When you have ideas like me, when I have ideas swirling around in my head, I can throw this out to my accountability partner and she can either say, wow, that sounds great, or, oh, that is just not you. And when I fall down, she's there to pick me up. So whether this is our last visit together, or whether you choose to explore the possibilities for your life with me as at your side, I really want you to be successful. Take the process that I've given you today and make a commitment to use it to become the amazing woman that you were created to be. Grab a partner or two or three and walk on the journey together. Find someone who's ready to make progress. Grab her hand and say, okay, let's go. I'm ready. We need a partner up here. So now I want to share with you a few ways that you can accelerate your transformation through the plan that I created myself. I promised that I would show you a way to really take all these things that I have given you today and to take it a step further. If you're like me, you tend to buy self-help programs or books and you have the greatest intentions, but months later they're still sitting on the shelf and you haven't read them or you haven't done the work. And when I was thinking about the group of women who would be watching this webinar, I knew that some of them would be ready to start making positive changes in their lives. I knew that there were people like you who said, who would say, I'm ready to go right now. And I want to have a partner. I want to have a group of women, to go on this journey with. So I decided to form a couple of small groups called Power Chicks. And so if you're at your computer right now, if you would go to flourishover50.com/special-offer, I'll walk you through this. And if you're not at your computer, don't worry. I will explain the process as we go over there. But I think it would be better if you could just go over there with me and we'll look at the process together. And don't worry again if you're not over 50. This really is for any woman who is at a crossroads and trying to find a new direction in life. So, let's switch over to the website and we'll walk through the power groups and the other ways that I can be along with you on this journey as your accountability partner. Let's take a look. So here we are at flourishover50.com/special-offer. And this truly is something, a great gift that I want to give you to help you really accelerate your transformation. It's really the heart and soul of what I have done over the past year, how I have taken my own life from not having a clue what I was going to do next to being a website creator, workshop writer, author, speaker, all these wonderful things that I have now. I have because of this Powerful Me program, and I want you to be able to experience this with me. So, just what is this program? It is really, like I said, it's what I have been writing. It's my own process. It's what I did for myself. And when I wrote this and it changed my life so much, I had friends who said, teach me how. I want to do this too. So I wrote a workshop based on my own transformation, and from that workshop I wrote this self-study program. So it's a wonderful workbook. It's just beautifully laid out. There's a step-by-step instructions to get you through really going deeper than we have been today, and discovering what is your life purpose. And then we talk about even more, what are the priorities that you want to focus on in life? Where are you out of balance? And then we walk through goal setting and really getting clear on what are the goals that you want to set for yourself that really will help you grow, to really become more than you ever imagined. And those goals are then further broken down into an entire year's worth of weekly success sheets, weekly success charts that break each goal down, that help you manage it in small steps. So you really can stay on target. You can start living your life according to your purpose, and you can use all of these things as a filter, so when you are offered an opportunity, you'll know whether you should say no or yes. Does it agree with my life purpose? Does it support my priorities and my goals? So it's a wonderful program that I am so blessed to have been given, and now I want to share it with you in a very special way. Scroll on down the page and there is an exclusive offer just for the webinar participants. I'm creating a couple of groups. I thought how fun it would be to take the women who are really ready to make significant positive change in their lives and create 2 small groups, safe environments where we can all work through this process together. We will have 4 webinars just like this one. It'll be every other week, so it'll span 8 weeks. And we will go through the process. We'll work through the self-discovery together, creating a legacy, and really, have a group to talk to support you, and to brainstorm with. And we'll have these things together, and you'll have the workbook that is part of this, that is the self-study program. You'll still have the audio recordings, and you'll have the meditation CD that goes along with the program. And another level of the Powerful Me program is called Action and Accountability. And you will also receive that program in this special offer. 12 monthly live webinars based on the Powerful Me material. We'll talk about things like stress over the holidays, simplifying your life, goal setting, loving your body, loving yourself, empty nest, really some important subjects that I want to help you learn more about and give you some strategies for your own life. So with this special power group, and you can become a power chick with us, you'll have everything in the self-study program, the workbook, the audio recordings, and the meditation CD. You'll have everything in the Powerful Me Action and Accountability program, which is a year's worth of live webinars, weekly email support, membership in a private Facebook group where we can talk confidentially with one another. And then to really add a lot of value, I will give you, we'll spend an hour together, just you and me, a 1-hour private session of, at the time of your choice, anytime during the process that you really want to work with me on getting some targeted coaching just for you. And all of these things rolled in together is really designed to make you supremely successful. And it will span an entire year for you. And so you'll have the accountability, the support, the encouragement, and, all in a group of women who can, go on the journey with you. So if you're really ready to start the work and you want to join us for one of these sessions, let's get started now. I have 2 groups. One is on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Central Time, beginning September 18th. And the other one is on Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. Central Time, beginning September 19th. So choose the payment schedule that you like, that you need. You can make one payment of $397 or two payments of $217. And know that there is so much value in what I'm giving you here. All these programs rolled into one, an hour of private coaching, and this amazing group of women to go on the journey with, to be your girlfriends along the way. So pick the one that you want and commit right now to taking that first big step to really start transforming yourself. I know you're ready. You've listened to this webinar. You've been here with me for all this time. I know you're ready, and I want to be there for you. I want you to, be, connected with me. I'll be right here with you the whole way. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Susan at flourishover50.com, or you may call me at 512-843-2250. And I really look forward to working with you because I think this is the key. This right here is what turned my life around, and I know that it can turn your life around as well. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I am so blessed that you've given me your time, and I hope that now you have some great steps that you can take to begin designing your own journey, your transformational journey. And I would love to walk with you along the way. Whatever way I can support you, please let me know. Stay in touch. And, whatever you do, just be sure that you allow yourself to grow. Don't limit yourself by the size of your dreams. There's so much out there. You have huge potential. And really just allow yourself to grow into the magnificent woman you were created to be, because the world needs what you have. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.